Yeah, I realize that bowl selection process is different from conference to conference. And if you haven't been in a bowl game, I don't know, 12, 15 years, maybe that thing's changed for you. And so maybe the way that's done at other places is different. We submit preferences to the conference based on a lot of different factors. What's best for our university, what's best for our fan base, what's best for our student athletes, and we don't really factor anybody else in that.
Yeah, dude, you don't sound scared for sure. That sounds legit. This is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast, News and Narratives Takes Gambling. That was Elia Drinkwitz addressing the rumor that Missouri, in its bowl selection as a representative of the Southeastern Conference, intentionally wanted to avoid a bowl with Kansas, bringing back the backyard brawl or the border war or whatever it's called, the rivalry that is now killed because of conference realignment. It's a big one. That rivalry is about the Civil War. Kansas is on the correct side, and Missouri is on the slavery side. That's what that rivalry is about. If you think I'm joking, look it up. So really dirty rivalry, a lot of fun for college football over the years, and it appears as if the rumor that Missouri just didn't want to play Kansas in their bowl game. And the crazy thing is that Missouri is bowl eligible. I just assumed they weren't, but I guess they are. Let's see who they are actually playing. I have not gone through bowl matchups because I have been too busy living my life, and there are just too many of them. The interesting thing is good for the University of Wyoming and all my peeps back in Wyoming for getting the Barstool Bowl or whatever it's called. The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. It's going to be streamed, so people in Wyoming are going to have a tough time with that. But bring a lot of attention to the university, which will be cool. Missouri's playing Wake Forest. Oh, in the what bowl? Hold up, the Gasparilla Bowl. The fuck is that? What is Gasparilla? Oh, that's advertising. You know what? I'm not gonna Google it. I'm not going to Google it. College football all day today for the most part. We'll get into some pro stuff later as well with a big game with draft implications and playoff implications. The Raiders and the Lions are the two teams in the NFL right now where people are like, did you know that they're 5-7? They're not out of this shit. They're not out of this at all. Also, the Rams gave the Lions their pick, so that pick could become mathematically the models, which are stupid, suggest that it's going to be the second overall pick. We shall see. Cade Mcnamara, the quarterback for Michigan who won the Big Ten with them and beat Ohio State for the first time since Nam, is transferring to Iowa, and he went on some podcast with Jordan Palmer, Carson Palmer's brother, who's notably a brilliant college and high school quarterback developer, but notably a curmudgeon, just like Carson. Definitely a bit of a dick. But Cade got benched this year for J.J. McCarthy, who's one of those guys that Michigan fans will tell you, oh, he's really good, but the rest of us who have seen really good quarterback play this century for college football are like, oh, here's another guy that they're going to bench later. Anyway, he got benched. J.J. McCarthy, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe he was a true freshman last year. This year he is a redshirt freshman, and he'll be replaced by some other guy in 2 years. So Cade Mcnamara goes on a podcast with this Jordan Palmer, Carson Palmer's brother, older, younger, who cares, and he kind of avoids talking shit on Michigan, but then he kind of doesn't avoid talking shit on Michigan. It's really juicy.
Last year, you lead Michigan to a 12-win season, first one in decades, whatever it's been, and pretty thankless, right? Everything was about the other guy and the media, and you lead them to a Big 12 championship, you lead them to the college football playoff, things that Michigan fans, have been dreaming about and expecting for a long time. Beat Ohio State, played great. Only game you lost last year during the season was to Michigan State, and the other quarterback fumbled in that game at the end, threw for I think 385 in that game. So,
So Jordan, that's Jordan Palmer shitting on the other guy, J.J. McCarthy. Who, let me be very, 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 very clear. J.J. McCarthy's not very good. He's fine. He's fine. I think that you look at, I'll just put it to you this way. As an Ole Miss alum, in the past 20 years, J.J. McCarthy would not be a top 10 Ole Miss quarterback in college. And Ole Miss has one quarterback that started in the pros and won a couple Super Bowls. J.J. McCarthy will not go to the pros and play well. Michigan just is not a quarterback school, man. It just isn't. They were the school that was not smart enough to learn how good Tom Brady was. The best Michigan quarterback, in my opinion, was probably Wilton Speight when Wilton Spate was the quarterback when Harbaugh took the job. It's just not. It's a weird indictment of Jim Harbaugh. Everybody thinks he's offense quarterback coach. He kind of sucks ass at that. He just stumbled into Andrew Luck at Stanford, which had a lot more to do with Oliver Luck being a good dad than it did with imploring his kid to go to Stanford, which that paid off. What a brilliant life, and he's leading, made a lot of money. What a renaissance man Andrew Luck is. But no, you take Andrew Luck away, Harbaugh's record with quarterbacks is hot, stinking, bacteria-infested garbage. He is garbage at quarterback position. Garbage. And I don't understand it. It's like the recruiting thing, or like he just wants them to play a certain way that is not conducive to the way that college football is being played. Because I think that for a fact, if you watch J.J. McCarthy and Cade Mcnamara, I don't think that they're put in a position to succeed. Harbaugh does not emphasize the wide receiver position. So, yeah, if this guy's like, I want to get out of here. Now, going to Iowa is an interesting choice. I would pick any Big 12 team, any of them. But I think he wanted to stay in the conference because, I mean, Big Ten people are Big Ten people, especially the Midwestern part of the Big Ten. Transferring from Maryland to Nebraska, like, is technically the same conference, but transferring to Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, it's the same kind of place. So that makes total sense to me. So that happened yesterday, and it kind of blew up. Why are we talking about a transfer? Like, well, I can't believe it. I can't believe that somebody would be jaded when they left their old school. Are they the only one that's jaded? No. Let's read this. So this running back from Mississippi State announced that he's transferring. Holy shit, this is hilarious. So who's this guy's name? I don't know. He signed his name at the bottom. It doesn't really matter. Does it matter? Do we care that much? All right, I'll tell you the facts of the case. Sure. Dylan Johnson is transferring. I'll read the statement in its entirety, and you pick out the funny part. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to showcase my talent at the college level. Without him, I am nothing. Secondly, I would like to thank my family and friends for the endless love and support they have shown me throughout this season. To Mississippi State University, my teammates, trainers, the amazing fans, it has been an honor to participate in this program with you all. Together, you guys have helped me build my character and skills tremendously. With that being said, since I am not very tough and Leach is glad I'm leaving, I will be entering my name into the transfer portal with hopes of finding a more fit playing environment for me. Dude. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I fucking love that. I love that. Good. Throw shade. I told you yesterday, this transfer portal thing, these people are completely like, they're not held hostage, but it is also, they're not being developed as human beings by any of these schools. Not one. Not Michigan, not Mississippi State, none of them. None of them are doing that. People like Aiden Hutchinson are being developed as people. Yeah, people like that. People like Aaron Donald are being developed like people. People like Ndamukong Suh are treated like essentially alumni and donors right away. But people like this, who need education and development, and like they're just thrown under the bus. And they always will be. This is a fucking business, man. Switch over to the NFL right quick. Von Miller, we saw him get hurt against Detroit. He looked scared. He looked annoyed. They're like, oh, well, maybe we've avoided the worst-case scenario. Took some MRIs. Well, yesterday he underwent surgery for a slightly, I guess, torn ACL. He'll be out for the season. And Buffalo, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl now unless other people get hurt. I do think in the AFC, if you let the Jets and the Bengals into the playoffs, they're going to piss somebody off. They are going to beat one of these teams in a big moment, and it's going to get a little weird. And speaking of the AFC playoff picture, we've got Thursday Night Football tonight, the Las Vegas Raiders against your Los Angeles Rams. Without Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, OBJ is gone, Andrew Whitworth is gone, Darrell Henderson is gone, and a bunch of other people too. So it's bad. The Los Angeles, or the Raiders, are favored by 6.5. They can't hammer that enough. The Rams do have a good defense, but they're missing, again, Aaron Donald and A'Shawn Robinson. They're missing fucking everybody. They've got a good pass rusher. The guy was it Leonard Floyd they signed from the Bears. He's playing pretty well. But Vegas has actually got a pretty good team. And similarly with Vegas and Detroit, at 5-7, this is what everybody thought that they would be when they were like 1-6 respectively. Everyone was like, Jesus Christ, get it together. Well, if you look at their schedule and you factor in like one stupid loss, you're like, oh, okay. That's why the schedule, remember, it is a season-long sample size. It is not like game to game. It is a season-long. The process is one game at a time, but it is a season-long sample size. You cannot bet on any individual props in this game because we have no idea who is playing quarterback. Remember, the Rams claimed Baker Mayfield, and get this, he's going to be active tonight. He has been on this team for 7 seconds. His leading receivers will be Ben Skowronek, who had 2 of the worst drops I have ever seen ever at the NFL level. I remember Mike Evans had a drop this year. You're like, oh, yeah, that Mike Evans drop. Yeah, he has had multiple of those, including one in the NFC Championship. He's really fast, though. He's very fast. But Baker playing would be fucking hilarious. Without Baker, it could be John Wolford if he's healthy. Remember, John Wolford kind of took the starting job from Jared Goff a while back. Kind of. There was also a personal vendetta, McVay versus Goff. And then I don't know who the third string is. It doesn't really matter. You'll never hear from that person again after everyone gets healthy, which is sort of the point of this. So other bets that I like interesting, that are interesting, I like unders for Vegas receiving yards. Not all of them, obviously. So whoa. You can bet on Tyler Higbee to get everything under for the Rams. Just blanket the under. Just under. For the Raiders, I like overs for the most part. The reason I like them is because one of these guys is going to go off. The Rams are just too depleted. You have Devontae Adams, for example, who's playing at Offensive Player of the Year level, just like Josh Jacobs. They have 2 Offensive Player of the Year candidates, and Josh Jacobs, a wide receiver, or running back, and Devontae Adams, wide receiver. They also have a very strong candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, in Max Crosby. Yeah, that's how he spells it. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's going to get a sack. Baker Mayfield's going to stay in the pocket too long. He's going to get a sack. So over-under, I'm sure the sack over-under for him is 1.5. I know that FanDuel does not have that up right now, as far as I can tell. No sacks for Max, which makes sense. They don't know who's playing quarterback. But again, I don't think that matters particularly. That's just my opinion. But what do I know? I'll get out of here on this. Ian Rappaport at 7 p.m. tweeted, I don't know if I believe him. Did his daughter write this? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if he has a daughter. This new Nas album, this new Nas, the rapper, this new Nas album is exactly what everyone said it would be and more. Absolute fire emoji, period. You don't need periods after emojis. I feel like I've been transported back in time. Best album I've listened to in years. And all these people in the comments, African Americans, are like, look at the gifs, look at the reactions. There's The Rock with the people's eyebrow. There's Samuel L. Jackson like, motherfucker. Do we believe that Ian Rappaport listened to this album? I don't know. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Back and better than ever tomorrow.